When I was a kid, particularly around 10 or 11 years old, and I was in school, and I was going to relatively well-off schools, but I was a very poor kid. And you become aware that things aren't the same for you compared to other kids. Realizing that my mom was struggling with, what was later diagnosed as schizophrenia, but mental illness, that my mom, wasn't working, couldn't work, and was having a lot of good days and bad days, that took longer. That was a thing that I knew, particularly as I got into my teenage years, that things were pretty different. I would know, hanging out with friends and seeing how their parents were involved in their lives, and, like parent-teacher interviews and things like that. So you have those kind of, tangents or trajectories where, we're poor, so we're struggling on that way. I don't have nice new school clothes and whatnot. And then on top of it, it's just, my mom couldn't be there as much as she would like to be, particularly as I got a little older and I got, probably the combination of me being a bit more independent, but also things worsening for her. I found doing the story, dealing with, sort of my own history in a fictional way, in a comic book form, in a graphic novel form, was a really neat way of sort of, this is after my mom had died, so it was, being able to play certain things and reflect on certain things, and the story, the graphic novel allowed me to do that.
So it's only in recent years, and maybe having worked on this documentary, that you realize that there are many other people in your situation when maybe you thought you were alone when you were a kid.
Stigma, it has changed. It's not something like I find just culturally there's much more openness about discussing mental illness than certainly I had ever experienced as a kid. But I think every little bit helps. I'm really hoping that the film itself, will help with that. There are people who are in crisis that need help. And, I'm hoping things like talking about it, just give them more confidence to seek out help if they need it.